Any concept that denies an objective reality, I really can't get behind or support totally. There's much to be said about whether truth can be objective or requires perception. Being is the ultimate truth that cannot be denied. Your body is a bridge across moments. What being is in itself must be considered truth. If we take a snapshot of our reality and focus on the moment, the way things are in that instant, absent duration, is objective truth, free of speculation, historical implication, or future potential. There's plenty of concepts I'll be going over on this channel that will attempt to marginalize being and say it doesn't exist. For some reason, they just want everything to be relativistic, relational, with no privileged points of view. The only way there can be no privileged points of view is if there's no goals or outcomes to work toward. There can be no privileged points of view in a perspective that is confused. There can be no privileged points of view in a perspective with absolutely no direction. Sure, you can be confused and have no direction, but I ask you this, if no position is privileged above any other position, then your position is also not privileged, which means that some positions are privileged. I say that positions that recognize common ancestry and universality are privileged over those who insist on localized, particularized cultures. Perspectivism is a philosophical idea that emphasizes the role of individual perspectives in shaping our understanding of the world. It suggests that there's no one objective reality, but rather that reality is experienced and interpreted differently by different individuals based on their unique perspectives. These perspectives can be influenced by a variety of factors, such as one's culture, personal history, and current situation. Here are some key points about perspectivism. Rejection of universal truth. Perspectivism does not believe in a single fixed truth that everyone can access. Instead, it suggests that truth is relative and depends on the perspective from which it is viewed. Importance of interpretation. Our experiences are not simply given to us passively, but are actively interpreted and shaped by our own minds and perspectives. Multiple perspectives. There are always multiple perspectives on any given situation, and each perspective is equally valid. Embracing different viewpoints. Perspectivism encourages us to be open and try to understand other people's viewpoints, even if they differ from our own. Critics of perspectivism, particularly as presented by Friedrich Nietzsche, raise several objections to this philosophical standpoint. While perspectivism offers a novel perspective on truth and knowledge, it's not without its challenges and criticisms. Relativism and nihilism. Critics argue that perspectivism can lead to relativism, where all perspectives are considered equally valid, eroding the possibility of objective evaluations. This, in turn, might be seen as a gateway to nihilism, the belief in the lack of inherent meaning or value. Undermining empirical truth. Some critics contend that perspectivism might undermine the notion of objective truth, especially in the empirical domains. While perspectives influence interpretations, certain facts or truths may exist independently of individual viewpoints, and perspectivism could be seen as downplaying this aspect. Challenges in ethical discourse. Perspectivism, when applied to ethics, faces challenges. Critics argue that it can make it difficult to engage in a meaningful moral discourse or critique certain practices if all moral values are considered equally valid based on different perspectives. Potential for solipsism. Critics express concern about the potential for solipsism, where individual perspectives become so isolated that shared understanding or communication becomes impossible. This extreme subjectivism might hinder the possibility of meaningful discourse. Lack of guidance for action. Perspectivism, by rejecting universal truths, might be criticized for providing little guidance for action. Critics argue that a lack of shared values or principles could lead to moral and existential confusion, making it challenging to navigate ethical decisions. Difficulty in evaluating perspectives. Critics question how one can evaluate or compare different perspectives if all perspectives are considered equally valid. Without some criteria for assessment, it becomes challenging to make reasoned judgments about the relative merit of various viewpoints. It's essential to note that these criticisms do not dismiss the value of recognizing the role of perspectives in shaping knowledge and understanding. Instead, they highlight potential challenges and tensions within perspectivism that warrant further philosophical exploration and refinement. Everybody has a different perspective. Different perspectives aid in flushing the truth out into the open. But let's never make the mistake of thinking that truth is perspective dependent. If you like this kind of philosophical subject matter, help us grow the channel by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell.